Welcome back to Final Fantasy II. In the previous episode, I requested a ship travel service from Leila, got ambushed by her crew, defeated them, sparing them. Leila joined my party, allowing ship travel to anywhere. I found a small island on the southern seas, finding a black mask. Then I sailed to the island of Diced, finding the last wyvern, poisoned and soon gone from this world. It gave me the last wyvern egg, which I deposited at the live spring of Diced Cavern. Having since returned to Altair to report on the loss of the dragoons, I've been told that Hilda is acting strange. Gordon has ordered me to see her in her room, so let's get to it. I enter Hilda's room at the east. She's waiting for me right at the entrance, wanting to talk with Firion in private, though Leila seems to think something is amiss. Hilda wants Firion to come closer to bed. However, this is no romantic encounter at all, as Hilda seems to have trapped Firion. Leila bursts inside with the rest of the party. This Hilda is a fake, and is actually a Lamia Queen. This enemy is very threatening, with a large HP pool, as well as attack and defense. Her attacks can inflict sleep, she can also cast Blink to become more evasive, and Charm to confuse characters. I do curse her with the Ancient Sword, and the Unicorn Horn is of great use to clear temporary status. After a long fight, she goes down. She even drops a gold hairpin. This headpiece gives good defense, magic defense, extra agility, and a resistance to lightning. It even has a low magic penalty score. A thing I've forgotten to mention yet is that equipment can lower magic accuracy. Knives, certain staffs, cuirasses, and lighter armor have lower penalties compared to other equipment. I gave this hairpin to Firion, who thanks Leila for the rescue. With this Hilda being a fake though, just where could the real Hilda be? A guard shows up with news that Princess Hilda is at Palamecia, being the prize of a tournament being held there. Gordon takes Leila's place on the party, wanting to rescue her. Some of the rebels know the Emperor is attending this tournament. It could be the chance to strike. A wise man tells that Princess Hilda could be locked at the dungeons below the Colosseum. A man knows that Palamecia is to the south of Kashuan, but many strong monsters lurk in the nearby desert. Since I still have command of the ship, I decide to sail my way there, going south from the Kashuan coast and landing west of the desert. New enemies found at the desert include antlions, enemies with strong paralyzing attacks and a weakness to ice and poison, and landrays, another paralyzing enemy with good strength and bulk, but lacking an exploitable weakness. I make my way to the east, finding the Colosseum hidden away in a forest. I enter the Colosseum, walking through the corridors until I reach the arena. I see the Emperor right in front of me, but before I can approach him, I'm locked in the arena. The Emperor sends a monster to fight me, the mighty Behemoth. This hulking beast has incredibly strong attacks and impressive bulk. Good thing the Ancient Sword exists. I hit him with a dark bow as well. All that power and bulk is now dulled, so the fight becomes a simple scrap that ends in the Behemoth's defeat. The doors have opened. It is my chance to strike at the Emperor, but it turns out to be an illusion. The Dark Knight apprehends us and locks us at the bottom of the Colosseum's dungeons. He doesn't confiscate our weapons or anything though. Classic. I approach the cell door. As I do so, the thief Paul shows up and knocks the guard out, freeing us from our predicament. I go east, then north, finding a chest containing an antidote. It is guarded by dual heads, dual deads, and a new enemy, the Stalagmite. It has decent attack and defense, but its HP is a bit low for this stage of the game. I then go around the wall, entering a door at the east, finding 3 chests, which contain an ether, a cottage, and an elixir. This last item restores a massive amount of HP and MP. I then circumvent the eastern wall to enter the northeast room, finding stairs to the next floor. New enemies found here are parasites. They are weak to ice and possess the unusual effect of draining MP on hit. Spectres, undead enemies that drain HP with their attacks and have spellcasting capabilities, including the petrifying Break 6, though they will rarely do so. Death Flowers, enemies with a confusing attack, they are also weak to fire and ice. Captains, mighty enemies with multiple strong attacks and big defense that can also attack with bow free. Sorcerers, relatively weak enemies with many spells they can cast. And finally, Wizards, the premier spellcaster, that is also quite bulky as well, an incredible threat. I go around the room, spotting Hilda in her cell, going through the corridors, liberating her. With Gordon and Hilda reunited, they escape ahead, while Firion distracts the guards. I then go south, then west, finding stairs to the first floor. I leave through the west, returning to my ship, sailing back to Altair. As I enter Altair, I find a rebel soldier, who tells me that Hilda and Gordon have set camp near Fynn, ready to retake the capital. I set out to the camp, finding it west of Gatreya. The soldiers are hyped up to retake their homeland, with Gordon giving us a task of defeating the Castellan. while Hilda congratulates us for the destruction of the Dreadnought. Oh, that's right, she had no earlier chance to do so, did she? I infiltrate the castle, finding Leila, who rejoins the party. I go north, around the wall, finding 2 chests containing 2000 gil and 8000 gil. I then go northwest, finding a chest containing 1000 gil. I then go back center, climbing the stairs up to the 2nd floor. A new enemy that can be found here is the Brain, an enemy that, much like the Changer, has a weakness to mind, leaving it vulnerable to certain status spells. It sometimes casts fog to inflict amnesia. I go west, finding a chest containing the Outer Tome. This spell adds effectiveness to weapons, requiring a higher level to add effectiveness against additional monster families. It is guarded by sorcerers and sergeants. They even drop a haste tome. This spell increases the number of possible hits an attack can inflict. I teach this one to Maria. I then cross a wall to the west, going north, finding a chest containing a Weird Buster. I return to the center, going east, finding a chest holding a potion that is being guarded by undead enemies. I then cross a wall to the east, going south, finding a chest with giant's gloves. These gloves grant a strength boost. I took quite a beating, so I leave the castle to rest and return back to the 2nd floor, climbing up to the 1st floor, then the throne room. It is there that I find a castellan, Gottos, another enemy that has massive stats. He can boost his hit number with haste or strength with imbibe. The battle is long, but an early ancient sword hit helps a lot. With him defeated, Fynn Castle is successfully recovered. I talk with Gordon, who congratulates us, but warns us that Minwu hasn't returned from Mysidia. New keyword learned. Being told that it's at the Mysidian Tower that the Ultimate Tome was sealed. Another keyword learned. Asking Gordon about the Ultimate Tome, he says that it's the key to defeating the Emperor. I then talk to Hilda, who's glad she's back to Fynn, thanking us for our efforts. I ask her about Mysidia. She reveals it's a land of mages, hoping to get their help to defeat the Empire. To recover the ultimate magic, 2 masks are needed. Yet another keyword learned. Asking her about the Ultimate Tome, she says that after an invasion of monsters long ago, Ultima was the magic that drove them away. I then ask her about the masks. The white mask is here in Fynn. The words needed to find it are Ekmet Teloes. One more keyword learned. This word is supposed to open a door, although she has no idea what it could be. I ask Gordon about it. According to him, Paul might have an idea of this castle's secrets. I go all the way down to the 1st floor, going to the southwest, climbing up to the 2nd, then 3rd floors. Going all the way north, finding a room with a mirror. I then go to the northeastern room, finding 3 chests. They contain a Break Tome, a Toad Tome, and a Death Tome. These are all one-shot tomes. Break through petrification, Toad through turning enemies to frogs, and Death through insta-KO. I teach Toad to Maria. I then leave the castle for the town of Fynn, which has many facilities that include an inn, a healing statue, an item shop, a weapon shop that sells Weird Busters, tridents, winged swords, and flame bows, an armor shop that sells golden shields, giant's helmets, gold armor, and gold cuirasses, and a magic shop that sells the spell, Mini, Fog, and Slow. The spell is white magic that is bugged and doesn't work. Mini is white magic that one-shots enemies by turning them tiny. Fog is white magic that inflicts amnesia, and Slow is white magic that reduces the enemy number of hits. I have mistaken these last 2 to be black magic, so I bought a tome of each to teach to Maria. I also buy 3 gold cuirasses for Firion, Maria, and Guy. A man says that Paul was excited to be back home, so I go southwest, finding Paul's home. Asking him about the secret door of the castle, he says it's in the audience chamber to the northeast. I return to the castle, and sure enough, I find a secret door to the northeast of the top floor. Speaking the password, I find another room, climbing downstairs all the way to the 1st floor, crossing walls east, then west, entering a room that has 3 chests. They contain gold armor, a gold cuirass, and a golden shield. I climb down to the basement, which still has monsters abound. I go to the southeast, opening a chest containing a knife, then go west, then north, finding a chest holding eye drops. Then I go east, then south, opening a chest that has clothes. I then go northeast, climbing down to the 2nd floor. I open the nearby chest that has a potion. I then go west, then south, opening a chest containing another potion, then go north around the wall, finding a chest that holds a Maiden's Kiss, which removes the Toad status effect. I then go all the way east, finding stairs to the 3rd floor. A new enemy that can be found here is the Killer Mantis, strong and bulky multi-attackers with a weakness to ice. I go south, finding a chest containing a potion, then go west, opening a chest that holds a flame shield, which is resistant to ice. I give this to Guy. Then I go north, finding a chest that has spider silk. Then I go a bit south, finding stairs to the 4th floor. Here I go north, then east, finding a chest containing the Blood Sword. This sword drains HP from the target, taking a 16th of HP per hit, regardless of enemy, being of great help against very high HP enemies. This effect is reversed against the undead though. This chest is guarded by various undead as well. I then circle around the center, going northeast, finding a chest that holds a set of flame armor, which resists fire. I give it to Guy. I then go south, finding a chest that has a Betrayal Fang, an item that casts confusion upon all enemies. I then climb down the nearby stairs to the 5th floor, going east, then north, finding a chest that contains the Orichalcum, a dagger that is effective against aquatic enemies. But before I can give this to Leila, I have to face its guardians, the Rios. Similar to Chimeras, they also have a Blaze ability, but also an additional Bad Breath ability that petrifies. I then go northeast, finding a whopping 6 doors. The correct door is the second door from the right, entering a room with a chest that has the white mask. Fortunately, there's also a warp point that takes me out of here. Now that I have the masks, I should head towards Mysidia. I've adventured quite a bit this time. I found out that the Princess Hilda we rescued from the Dreadnought was a fake, went on a rescue mission to the Colosseum of Palamecia, but after facing a Behemoth, we got captured and taken to the dungeons. Thankfully, Paul rescued us, so we could find the real Hilda and escape. Afterwards, we infiltrated Fynn Castle, defeating Gottos, restoring Fynn to Princess Hilda. Being given the order to go to Mysidia to find out what's going on with Minwu, we retrieve a white mask from the basement of this castle. The task of recovering Ultima seems to be a tough one, but I have faith that Minwu will be able to break its seal. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, as I finally arrive at Mysidia, the town of mages.